The Cryptonaut Podcast is brought to you by Cryptid Crate. Cryptid Crate is a monthly subscription box filled with various cryptozoology and paranormal-themed items to wear, display, and collect. Every month you can expect a carefully curated box filled with cryptastic pieces from indie makers and artisans pertaining to Bigfoot, Sasquatch, UFOs, ghosts, and other cryptid and mysterious creatures. Visit CryptidCrate.com, sign up for your monthly box today, and at checkout, be sure to use our promo code GRAMPUS, that's GRAMPUS, to get 10% off the entire life of your Cryptid Crate subscription. Also, too, we want to let you guys know that we have a new design up in the TeePublic store, so you can click the link in the description of this podcast. You can go there and check it out. We have a couple more designs that we're working on at the moment, so we should have those up in the next maybe like month or so. And without further ado, Christopher, cue that creepy music. The Cryptonaut Podcast. I'm Mark Storrs, and with me as always is
Chris Constantine.
And
wow, that was beautiful.
I sang it.
You really did. I will not torture you. It's simply Rob Morphy.
Chris and Rob, good to have you back. Good
Thanks,
to have
Mark.
you here. Good to have everybody present and accounted for this week's episode. So before we get started, remember to follow us on the social medias. There is Twitter, there's Instagram, there's the Facebook.
There is the Facebook.
I'm not sure if you guys saw Zuckerberg do his
I saw clips,
his
a little bit of it.
impersonation of a human trying to explain to old people how Facebook works.
Oh,
and then all the different people in Congress were like throwing him zingers.
wow.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook too. So like our page, I guess, before
Before it's gone.
before Facebook locks everything down.
Old
completely.
people are going to make Facebook live forever.
Yeah,
they
pretty
need
much.
it now. That's their taste of technology, and they're not going to part with it. That's like reruns of Matlock for them now. They will never give that shit
sharing
up.
all their dank
Murder,
memes.
She Wrote.
Grandma's got there you go. Grandma's got dank memes. That'll be great. That'll
Plastic
be a great
on the couch and dank ass memes.
So be sure to follow us on all the socials. Thank you to everyone that gets in contact with us every week.
Yes.
I'm the one on there talking, but I appreciate talking with everyone. I have a great time. Be sure to rate and review the show on iTunes and the Apple Podcasts app. I have to distinguish between the two, or we won't get featured in Apple's featured section.
Oh,
Thanks, Apple.
wow.
So we have some reviews to read. The first review here comes from X-Ray Vision 54.
Sweet name.
5-star review.
Yes.
Entitled Great Show I Found.
Hey, good.
Goes on to say, loves me this new show that I found. A lot of humor and info on my phone, Stitcher Radio, and on my iPad. I'm a crypto fan. Love all the shows on crypto. Waiting for you guys to do a show on how Bigfoot got his own money. A cryptocurrency. Oh, little cryptocurrency.
Is
joke.
that
like
a double entendre?
It's a double entendre right there.
That
I
is
like
the least sexy but most clever double entendre.
I have used X-Ray Vision's joke, I think, twice this week with people getting a hold of us for asking if we're a
Bitcoin,
crypto exchange. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
like, no, but I've heard that, the Mothman likes to use Bitcoins.
It's so funny. It was such an obscure phrase that people had no idea what you were talking about for years. And now suddenly it's like we're riding in the back of a pickup truck driven by a whole other group of people bouncing off going, but we're the crypto people.
Well,
it is not imaginary money. It's monsters.
We're starting to get followers and contacts at Cryptonaut Podcast from people that are Bitcoin cryptocurrency people. So,
but do they enjoy monsters too?
I hope you do.
Because
if not,
you can
you're at the wrong
cross over.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll help you with monsters.
Okay, we got one more review here. This is from Anonymous Anomaly, and this is review and detailed story with a 4-star review.
Oh.
Well, but
unbelievable.
We'll get to that. Goes on to say, neat with a surprising audio quality for such a new podcast.
Thank you.
Should have given you a 4-star review for not talking about the sheep squatch yet, hint, but it was just too good. I actually have an experience myself while in Iowa. I saw 2 strange bird-like creatures while watching a softball game. I could give you more details if you want later. Actually, yes, if you want to fill us in on the details of what you saw.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I know who this is. I'm pretty sure I know who this person is with the sheep squatch hint. So hit me up on Twitter, or you can email us at kryptonautpodcast.com, or you can contact us through Facebook or however. But yeah, you know what? Get a hold of us. Let us know what happened with your encounter with seeing some large, strange birds.
Yeah,
we
love to
hearing
know
what people do. Okay, so this week we are talking about the terrible flying jelly bags. In 1958, a pair of panic-stricken Swedes were attacked by a horde of pulsating protozoan creatures just off a desolate stretch of fog-shrouded road in what has to be one of the most terrifying close encounters on record.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
terrifying
shit.
jelly bags.
Bag of jelly.
Jelly bags are, that just doesn't
I don't know
comfort
you know what, Rob? I don't know where to go with this. I'm just going to ask you to take
Bag of jelly.
Take the wheel,
Let
Rob.
me do this.
Oh,
May I?
Rob, take the wheel.
Drive us home to Jellybagville.
All right.
Okay. On December 20th, 1958, two friends, 25-year-old Hans Gustafsson, I'm gonna murder foreign names, and 30-year-old Stig Rydberg. Oh yeah, you're a badass motherfucker.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, you walk into a fucking bar with a toothpick in your mouth and you put your engineer boot on the side of a stool and you say, "I'm Stig Rydberg."
Yeah, that's
and I'm
hardcore.
taking one of you home tonight.
Yeah, you've killed alien species.
Oh, you have. You wiped out whole civilizations. Yeah. All right. So we've got Gustafsson and Rydberg. We're making the normally brief and merry drive home from Höganäs to Heisenberg, where the pair were staying with Gustafsson's mother, Anna Berggren, following a night on the town with their girlfriends. Sorry about my name murdering. Due to the soupy haze that obscured the road, Gustafsson had slowed his DKW combi vehicle to nearly a crawl. He hoped that this precaution would allow he and his friend to have a safe and uneventful journey. His hope would prove to be in vain.
Ugh.
At approximately 3 a.m., the duo decided to pull over at an isolated spot on Route 45, which runs along the Strait of Øresund near the village of Domesten, in order to stretch their legs and relieve themselves. Neither man could have predicted that they were just moments away from the most traumatic experience of their young lives. That's ominous.
All right.
The first indication that something unusual was stirring occurred when the pair noticed a peculiar glow emanating from the trees approximately 150 feet away. Fueled by curiosity and the daring of youth, the men decided to walk into the misty woods to investigate the origin of this strange illumination. This decision would be one that they would regret. As they approached the unknown light source, Rydberg and Gustafsson stopped next to a sign that prohibited camping in the area. It was then that the astonished pair spied a wide, radiant, discoid object. The duo later estimated that the disc was about 3 feet high and nearly 15 feet wide. The immobile saucer, quote-unquote, was supported on a tripod perched on the forest floor. According to Gustafsson, this is a quote from him, "We saw a strange disc. It was resting on legs about 2 feet long. It seemed to be made of a peculiar shimmering light that changed color."
Okay.
That's
so
kind of cool.
Just for size
It's a
comparisons
lava
here.
lamp.
Wait, 3 feet by 15?
By 15?
Sitting on
Dude, that's fucked.
I mean, but it's not meant to carry humans, evidently.
Well, no. But
Well, not humans.
No, I mean, it's 3 feet.
It's not big.
My daughter's about
This
3
is
feet,
3
maybe.
feet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so my daughter's about 3
And
feet.
15.
So 15 feet wide.
Yeah.
So 3
but-
feet. Okay, all
But
right.
we might be talking about, as we know, Doctor Who type physics where
Yeah, I know
shit's
that-
bigger on the inside.
It might be a little bit early to jump to TARDIS technology, but
Maybe it's
But
reverse.
I'm just saying.
I like where
reverse
you're going.
TARDIS physics.
Ooh. So it's
Oh,
tinier?
boy. Tinier on the inside.
This closet looks so big. It's a glove compartment.
It's kind of like my house. If you look at my house,
How
you're
does
like,
that
that's
even
pretty big.
work?
And then you walk in my house and you're like, wow,
you
Mark,
can't even
you
fit.
live in the closet.
You
live
can't
in an
even get through the
anti-TARDIS.
door.
All 4 of us live in a closet.
Oh, my
yes.
God.
Oh, that's the worst TARDIS.
Yep.
Before they could get their bearings, the duo suddenly found themselves surrounded by a throng of bizarre, undulating objects, all of which were roughly 3 feet in length. Perfect for the UFO.
They're going to fit snugly.
They began to surge toward the terrified two. Rydberg would later describe the shocking scene for reporters. This is what he said. "They were like protozoa, just a bit darker than most, sort of a bluish color, hopping and jumping around the saucer like globs of animated jelly.
Than most? Is he a protozoa expert?
Yeah, I know. It's really like I'm used to certain shades of protozoa.
Right.
Well,
a little off green.
I mean, but
amber
consider,
tinges.
This was not your typical protozoa.
Just consider it
color.
It is Sweden, and they have
They're protozoa experts?
they have a better education system than we do. So
I can't argue that.
maybe when you're, maybe he has a better grasp of protozoa, because I honestly forgot about protozoa until you brought it up.
Well, they're really awesome. I don't even know. Are they multicellular or single cell?
I thought they were
They're
single
small
cell.
and awesome, and they devour their prey in unique ways.
Maybe
and I don't know anything about them.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're going to ask Manuel's wife.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. An expert.
There's like, are you an expert in protozoa? She'll be like, oh, yeah.
Of course
we
she
learned this
because she's
since,
Swedish. She knows all this
I'm
stuff.
just
She
saying
probably
that,
knows about this account. We should have had her
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
It
I
might be
know.
like one of her uncles.
Yeah.
So what really gets me is less the protozoa and how much Stig thought he was an expert, and what really gets me is the hopping and jumping around the saucer like globs of animated jelly. That's a kind of phrase that sticks with you.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like a jumping bean.
Like you
or
see
something.
that shit. You're drunk, you've been partying, you shouldn't be driving, but you are. You're trying to go home, you need to piss, you see a light, you go in the woods, and fuck all.
You see a paramecium,
Yeah.
and they're fucking dancing.
And they're dancing, hopping around,
Yeah.
having a good old time, fucking with your sense of reality.
Yeah.
Without warning, the amorphous creatures swarmed over the panic-stricken Rydberg and Gustafsson, engulfing their arms and legs within their yielding yet surprisingly tough gelatinous bodies. So that sucks. Dancing jelly bags is one thing, but when they're wrapped all around you and tight,
Yeah, all
but
the
they don't
sudden.
have bones, they just have some strange method of, like, you know what I imagine? You know that horrible pressure you feel when you're getting your blood pressure? Like right before they're done, and it's like my arm's going to fucking explode. You have to stop.
Yeah.
You have to stop this pressure. I feel like it must be like this, except they're alive and probably have nefarious intentions.
Probably.
Maybe.
It's fucked up. All right. Rydberg would depict the feeling of being within these elastic entities as akin to being trapped in magnetic dough.
That's weird.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's something weird. I mean, would a baker or a physicist understand that?
Well, okay, you know how like you have two magnets, like two opposing magnets, and you put them together and they do that weird,
Or were they,
I'm
were
going to
they-
say magnets. How do they work? But you know what I'm talking
No,
about.
well,
yeah.
no, you mean same
like,
polarity.
I'm
either
sorry,
they go
same.
together or they repel each
Yeah,
other.
so like two magnets repelling each other, but like cookie dough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna. You know,
I don't
what?
like the way you guys are looking at me right
Well,
now.
I've got-
I think it's kind of disrespectful.
I have to defer to you, but it's a little fucking weird. I'll be honest.
I mean, that's all I can think of is that.
Well, wait, what
you have
is
these-
it? Is it wrapped? Where is it exactly?
Maybe it's just like covering him or something, or maybe he's.
I mean, they're only
two of
3
them.
feet, so I'm assuming it's smaller than him. So where
Right.
where is it? Is it on his
So
top?
I don't know.
Torso? Like what's it doing?
all right, so they're being swarmed. These things are.
Is it a belly fat
approximately
burner?
3 feet tall. I don't know how wide they are.
No,
But
like
I imagine them like pillows, literally filled with a gelatinous substance, but animate and intelligent.
Right. Right.
But I've seen,
I mean, how
I've
are they
seen
on
drawings
him?
where
I
they seem
guess.
to have like little stumpy limbs too. So
Okay.
if they
All
look,
right.
maybe they look sort of like glumpy starfish.
Glumpy starfish.
I just don't
Okay.
know.
I like it. No, I'm on board, dude. I'm down.
So magnetic fucking dough with, and so he's continuing to describe what these things felt like. With a stunning suction-like force, the awful-smelling blob-like beasts began to pull the duo back towards the saucer.
not good.
While still others engaged in what has been, and by this I mean still others, the ones that weren't attacking the men, the other gelatinous blobs, were engaged in what has been described as a macabre dance. Gustafsson described this dreadful experience.
First of all, I want to correct you. That is macabre.
macabre. I'm sorry.
Macabre.
A
Yes.
macabre.
You say
Macabre.
yeah. Exactly. It's the macabre.
When I first got a copy of Stephen King's Dance Macabre, I was definitely thinking I was all fancy. I was reading the scholarly work about the nature of horror, and it was Danse Macabre. And that's how I
course,
read
macabre.
it all the
What-
way through.
Why would you not?
Because,
really?
yeah, there's no, it doesn't
If you've
feel
never
like
seen
that
it.
word should be macabre. I had to hear it like 20 times in different movies and then actually see the spelling, because there's like an old William Castle film called Macabre. And when they said it, I'm
Yeah.
like, you sons of bitches.
I don't care.
I call my whole life.
I call it the macabre.
Yeah. Well, how many letters really can you put on a word and just not say them?
It's true.
That's why I call it macabre.
All right, here's the better
There's
question.
7 Z's in my name. You just don't say them.
Nice.
No, but seriously, you have enough of these things dragging these drunkards back into the goddamn UFO.
Yeah.
What are the other ones doing? Just fucking dancing like they're in an El DeBarge video. Like, why are they not helping their brethren?
Well, wait. El DeBarge is not macabre. It's the opposite.
Yeah, you're right.
It lifts you up.
All right, Thriller. You're right. El DeBarge dancing is
if your wings are broken,
it's good for the
they
soul.
will be fixed.
You're right.
All right.
He will
after
cure
Rhythm of the Night.
So the macabre dance ensues.
Like you
Robert.
mean like Thriller or like Day of the Dead dancing?
Yeah, Thriller sounds better. They're doing the Thriller. It's like they're entertained by this. It's like, you do your thing, I'm doing my thing. It's a fucking Coke party. Let's go.
Okay, so what happens next, Robert?
All right. What happens next? Gustafsson described this dreadful experience, and this is his quote. The drag the things exerted was terrific, and they gave off such a terrible smell, like ether and burnt sausage.
Oh,
just like Mama used to make.
Ether.
Who are these fucking people?
It was breakfast at the Morphe house for years.
They're educated Swedes, so they clearly know about ether.
They're masters of protozoa.
And ether, yeah.
Ether and sausage bits.
And noble gases? I don't know.
Well, yeah,
that's not a noble gas.
Think about it. In
The Men. I'm getting back to the story.
The Men.
The Men.
Wow.
Gustafsson and
what kind of story
Rydberg,
is this?
Not surprisingly, lashed out in fear and adrenaline, and in a fear and adrenaline-induced frenzy. But as soon as they managed to pull themselves free from one of these nightmarish fiends, another would latch on. A never-ending nightmare.
What the fuck?
I know. Rydberg attempted to punch through one of the things, because of course you have to. But it just enveloped his arm up to the elbow. He tried to scream, but no sound issued forth. Rydberg described his futile struggle. It almost seemed as if the creatures could read my mind. They parried every move before I made it. Their strength was not so great as the technique with which they wielded it. That sounds like some sage battle shit. Like, I'd expect to hear that from Bruce Lee.
Are they countering
a noble
his
warrior.
moves?
Not only, they're parrying kind of. So they're not that strong, but what strength they have, and apparently psychic abilities, they are employing to fuck these people up when they're basically just squishy chill pillows that you'd put in your freezer and relax on a summer night with.
Okay.
But they're alive and hateful, apparently.
He's fighting giant protozoa.
And,
who
they
watched all
every
Bruce
move.
Lee's moves.
Their strength was not so great as the technique with which they wielded it. Wow, well said. Finally, Rydberg managed to break free and made a mad dash back to the parked car with two of the heaving beasts hot on his heels. That's got to be weird. I'm running
How does
right
it
after
move?
They hop, they dance.
Oh, that's
in
right.
a macabre fashion. As he ran for his life, I know.
I don't know what that means.
Rydberg glanced over his shoulder and could see to his utter dismay that Gustafsson was in genuine jeopardy as he clung for dear life to the no camping signpost. Gustafsson, meanwhile, could only stare in abject terror as his friend sprinted toward the road, leaving him to be consumed by these evidently voracious varmints, which had all but covered his lower extremities and continued to surge up his torso. Gustafsson stole a fleeting glance toward his feet. He was astonished to see that these I was about to say inveterate. That's maybe true, but not right. These invertebrate predators, which could evidently defy gravity with no visible means of staying aloft, were pulling him toward the vessel, lifting his body horizontally to the ground. The tenacious 25-year-old could feel his grip slowly working loose as he clutched desperately to the signpost.
I'm getting nervous.
Yeah. Rydberg, still being chased by the viscous fiends. Yeah, I fuck up. I write these things. I don't memorize them. Knew that there was nothing he could do for his friend and ran all the harder. That's a tough decision.
He left him?
There's nothing you can do for your friend.
Dude, you never leave him.
You can do something.
Did you try everything? Fire?
No, you don't leave a friend.
A stick.
You die with
stick.
Maybe
you
they
die
hate
with your
wood.
friend.
Why did no one grab a stick to beat these
Rocks?
things with?
Who knows what?
I would not leave you guys on a signpost and say, nothing I can do.
No, you go down with your crew.
And you hope you survive. You don't go in there thinking it's suicide.
No,
you go in
if
there
it's
thinking
sudden death, it's sudden death.
you just don't forsake a fucking friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that. I've never been in that situation.
But I believe you'd be solid. I trust you in an emergency. I got kids.
I got kids. I got a wife, and I got a lot of responsibility.
If you let me die for your babies, I can forgive you. If I was on the signpost,
that's true.
If I was on the signpost and these fuck-sucking jelly bags are lifting my fat ass trying to get me into a UFO, and you said, Rob, kids, I'd be like, dude, fuck.
I know, yeah.
I get it. Live!
As I'm running away.
I would do my Braveheart scream, live for the children!
You would throw your headband. Slow motion.
My sweet fucking pod headband, which I don't even know is there a public photo of. Someone should see. I wear a sweet headband because I get pretty fucking hot and I tend to sweat a little.
And also you don't sleep.
And
you don't sleep.
I haven't slept. I have slept. In all fairness, if people are wondering why I sound a little weirder than usual, I've got about maybe 7 hours sleep in the last 4 days.
Yeah.
Non-consecutive.
We tried to talk. Yeah. We tried to actually talk Rob down from this, but he was like, "I'm doing it."
No, Mark was like, "We don't have to record tonight.
Death.
You got to calm down." Now, I didn't realize I was agitated as a coke fiend on meth, fucking who's running a marathon or something. But
what's weird is when you don't sleep, you really do get those coke fiend type
tendencies.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've all dealt with coke fiends.
Sure, we have.
And you don't do coke.
And no, I'm not
at all.
We've all dealt with coke fiends.
But we kind of like dealing with one. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for me. And gosh darn it, I'm here for our listeners.
Never leave a brother behind, Robert. Continue, please.
Okay. So, as Gustafsson is tenaciously clinging to said signpost and Rydberg, being chased by viscous fiends, knew that there was nothing he could do, ran all the harder towards the car. He threw open the door, the pursuing creatures almost upon him, and slammed his fist on the horn in the desperate hope that some passerby would hear the piercing blare and come to their aid. It was at that moment that Hans Gustafsson and Stig Rydberg became two of the luckiest men on Earth. Wow. The sound of the horn seemed to have a profound effect on the jelly bags.
Found the weakness.
Mm-hmm. You always have, and in a great sci-fi story, you find the weakness.
Dude, just like water.
This is too cinematically
if it's
perfect.
Worlds, it's bacteria.
All right, we'll have to
it's
discuss this after.
It's rain. Right. Yeah. The sound of the horn, seemed to have a profound effect on the jelly bags. Instantly, the gooey pair that had been following Rydberg turned tail and began heading back toward the saucer without their quarry. The organisms that had been pulling Gustafsson also released their victim, who collapsed onto the ground in a heap just in time to see the boneless beasts stampede their way back into the underside of the ship.
All from a car horn.
Stampede.
Well, if sound is their, Achilles heel. Beyond relieved, Gustafsson scrambled to his feet and ran for the automobile. As he threw the door open, Gustafsson turned back just in time to see the saucer soar skyward with a high-pitched whistling. So apparently that sounds all right.
That sounds okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's good.
But a horn, no. The repugnant burnt chemical scent that was all that remained of the otherworldly assailants. The men sat in stunned silence, tears streaming down their ashen faces, each man trying to process the harrowing ordeal in their own way. The event had only lasted approximately 5 minutes, but they both knew that neither would ever be the same again. It would be the better part of 20 minutes before Gustafsson's trembling would subside enough for him to drive the remainder of the way home. Upon arriving at Heisenberg, the men concluded that it would be best if they kept their unbelievable experience to themselves. They both were understandably afraid, not only of the ridicule which would inevitably accompany any report as bizarre as the one they would be compelled to make, but also by the fact that their mental stability would come into question. In his book, The Flying Saucers, Documents and Theory, famed Swedish ufologist Gösta Rehn, what a great name. God bless the Swedes. Gösta Rehn, Stig Ryder, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
They're the heroes of the greatest action films ever.
Dude, Skyrim.
Who interviewed the eyewitnesses extensively, quoted Gustafsson as stating, "Although our reasoning ability seemed paralyzed and our tears were just streaming down after sitting in the car for about 15 minutes, it became clear in our heads that if we could drive on to Helsingborg, I think I got it right, and not until we were there, and not until we were in the center of city, we dared speak to each other. And the first thing we said was, we should not speak to anyone about this. Everyone will laugh at us." So it gets sucky for them. It really does. I'll get through this quick too, just because the suffering of eyewitnesses is something that really hits home with me.
I mean, that's unfortunately a part of experiencing something like this, especially when you come forward, is that you're not going to really have people necessarily embrace you unless you're talking to one of the three of us.
Yeah,
where we're going to be like high-fiving, like, oh yeah, dude, you made it past the Mokele Mumembe.
Well, not with that. It's different when you say like,
but
hey, I saw something in the sky and it was fucking weird.
Right.
But when you come up and say, okay.
Yeah, when you were attacked by a globulon.
Listen to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Globuli.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I think that's a callback to the gargantuan gliders, quite possibly.
You mean clams?
Clamulons, yes.
You mean blimps.
So, or blimps.
Master blimp.
So, unfortunately, I think...
It's tough.
Like you say, it's unfortunate that people are ridiculed for coming forward with their stories.
It's tragic, really.
Okay, so after they told their story, Rob, what happened?
All right, for 3 long days, Rydberg and Gustafsson suffered in silence. Rydberg had been unable to sleep during the 72-hour period following the event. Boy, I feel you, buddy.
Yeah, right now Rob's going on 87 hours,
it's
no
true.
sleep.
I know.
Trucker speed and meatball subs.
I've had neither.
Oh, meatball
Though I would love a meatball sub. With some parm, I would love one.
Oh, my
meatball sub.
I'm starving. I'm so hungry.
Right, I know. We're going to have to eat later. And both he and Gustafsson found that they were suffering from extreme anxiety. No shit, Sherlock.
That's what Mark deals with on a
and
regular basis.
Obvious physical injuries, such as massive bruises and reddened eyes.
Ooh.
Injuries which did not go unnoticed by Hans Gustafsson's mother, Anna Berggren, or his brother, Bengt. Now, by the way,
good luck pronouncing
it's Bengt.
Bengt.
So I'm pronouncing it Bengt, but I could be totally wrong.
I know for a fact that we do have Sweden listeners from Sweden out there because I can see on our stats map that people are listening to us.
Good.
So feel free to contact us and
correct us
with these pronunciations.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm just
again. You have
names.
a far superior education system, and we are just trying our goddamnedest here, wrapped in the flag, surrounded by eagles. Trying to get this done.
I know.
That's how we go to bed every night.
That's how we do, yeah. Forgive our pronunciation. Feel free to contact us to correct us. Thank you, Sweden. We love your metal. Robert, continue.
Absolutely.
Hammerfall.
His brother, Bengt. No longer able to keep their unbearable secret, nor their other PTSD-like symptoms confidential, the men confessed to the entire ordeal around the Gustafsson family breakfast table, whereupon their worst fears were realized in Anna Berggren's own words.
This is his mother.
That's his mother.
Okay, let's set this up. This is his mother.
Remarried, so she has a different last name.
Okay, Rob
I burst out laughing at Stig as he told it. Yes, we all did. Everything sounded so weird.
Stig breaks down, and this dude is PTSD, anxiety, bruises, red eyes, says what happens, and his mom laughs at him.
Well, I don't know if Stig is the mom. I think Stig is...
Anna Berggren.
I think that's Gustafsson's mom.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gustafsson. Okay, so Gustaf's mom
but it's his best
laughs
friend.
at him. Okay.
Just laugh, because it's weird. And it is weird. That's why you don't laugh. That's why, if it's someone you love, even if you think it's absurd, and trust me, most of the stories I hear... I think are batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, if your son comes down and he's got beat red eyes and it's like, Mom, guess what happened to me last night?
Can't sleep.
In that accent.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
But the Swedish version of that.
Yep.
I don't blame people for laughing spontaneously at something that sounds absurd. But at that point, you become supportive because at some point you have to decide. And I'm not talking about my general interactions with people that have experienced things, but just family members. If you love somebody... and they think they're going through something, you could be fearing for their sanity. You could be fearing for a lot of things. You just figure out a way to make them feel better.
Well, no, if it's a legit
problem,
under legit circumstances,
right?
But what's a legit fucking beanbag attack? Like literally, when does that ever become legit?
I mean, when somebody comes downstairs and they're clearly fucking high.
Yeah.
You know they're clearly high.
Yeah, totally.
As opposed to we come down and we just look tired, but we're like, no, look, this is what happened.
And it was horrible.
There's levels there of how...
And this is why I say 1 out of every 20 events get reported, if that.
Yeah.
Just because of things like that.
Before we continue on with the story here for the terrifying flying jelly bags from Sweden, we're going to take a quick break for a podcast promo.
Hello, all you curious creatures out there. I'm Amber Ray.
And I'm Andrew McKay, and we are the hosts of Into the Portal.
If you like myths, legends, history with a paranormal twist, join us every week as we explore lesser-known mysteries of our world and beyond.
You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, and all other major podcast platforms, and at intotheportal.com, your gateway to the bizarre.
The only question is, do you dare peer into the portal?
All right, cool. So there you have it. That is a promo from the Into the Portal podcast.
Awesome podcast.
Yeah, totally. I was actually telling the guys before we were getting to record and we're going to drop this promo in. They recently did an episode on Lake Baikal. And they did
the big Russian lake full of humanoids and monsters.
Really good job on the podcast.
That's a big, sprawling mess of a story, so I'm really proud of them.
So there you go. Be sure to check out the Into the Portal podcast.
Yeah, do it. It's awesome.
Totally.
They're
Awesome
great.
show.
They got great chemistry.
That makes me want to write more power metal.
Oh, you the Lake
Into
Baikal.
no, just Into the Portal.
The serpent with the humanoids, avoiding all the bureaucrats.
Dude, I'm doing it.
Decompressing soldiers and their tanks of air. Does that work?
Oh, God.
No,
I thought you were going to say something about knapsacks. For some reason. That would have been good.
All right. So anyway, back to the
flying jelly bags.
We can't.
The horrible,
we
terrible.
Literally can't say the name of this thing.
I know because we're idiot. You know why? Because we whipped this together at the last minute. We were going to do something else. I'm going to come completely clean, and we dug this out of the archives.
It could be anything. Angry amoebas.
Yeah.
Oh, angry amoebas. Yeah.
We could name it whatever we want.
Petulant paramecium.
Oh,
amoeba.
Pissed protozoa.
Yeah, right.
All right. So after they laughed, however, and we're still at the breakfast table now, the group soon realized that this disturbing tale of alien attackers was not merely a flight of fancy, but, at least for Rydberg and Gustafsson, a very real and traumatic experience. It was at this point that Berggren reported the event to Sweden's largest newspaper. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this.
Good luck, dude.
Helsingborg's Dagblad. It sounds like something you're just making up.
Oh, that was the best thing I ever heard.
Yeah, it was. Helsingborg's Dagblad. I need a subscription immediately.
You guys, did you read the news Dagblad?
It's awesome.
Cray.
Just sounds like the sweetest Swedish death metal band ever.
Uh-huh.
The
Dagblad.
Helsingborg's Dagblad.
You know the dudes from Entombed are reading it. But before the show, they're like, "Oh, do you have the Dagblad?"
I know they care about it.
As a matter of fact,
cannot
I do.
be. Whoever's in Sweden listening is laughing at us because we're saying it's so dumb.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are.
We're so American. We just lowered the estimation of our country another 3 points, and we're already fucking scraping negative.
Yeah.
It's
well, hail to Sweden, the sign of the hammer.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Fellow Man of War fans out there.
All right. It is difficult to ascertain what Berggren's intention was in contacting the press. Did she think that by coming forward she could help her son and Rydberg get the psychological help they so clearly needed, or were her intentions more self-serving and that the story would likely generate interest in her business, Berggren's dry cleaning, where both men were employed?
Son of a bitch, she's using her son's possible psychotic break to help her fucking dry cleaning
Wait
business?
a minute, they were both employed at her business?
Yeah, and they were both living there.
Oh, okay, you know what?
Friday night.
There's conspiracies.
Yeah, this stinks of Kardashian.
Is this a dry cleaning conspiracy
this
now?
This stinks of Kardashian.
They were fucking dosed.
Hold on, let's...
All right.
Before we go full conspiracy here, but...
Oh, there's a wormhole, I feel it.
This is the worst mom.
All right, yeah, she's not great.
All right.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Right. Whatever her purposes might have been, the media wasted no time in making household names throughout Sweden out of the two dry cleaners, and on January 9th, 1959, the pair were called into the Helsingborg police station for questioning. Attending the interview, which by its conclusion would evolve into an interrogation, one which lasted well over 11 hours. That's
fuck's
overkill.
sake, really?
Yeah, that's
They
a
saw
lot.
some beanbags. Relax. Were police officers Captain Lennart Bunke and detectives Sven Rudolph and Aki Fernbrandt. I'm not making that shit up.
All right, yeah, too.
All right. Who conducted the examination? Michael Wachter, A German military psychologist with a surprisingly poor grasp of the Swedish language,
much like ourselves,
yes, was also on hand, along with lab technician Stur Reisberg. By all accounts, the official purpose of this epic interview was to assuage concerns held by the Swedish military regarding an unauthorized infiltration of their sovereign airspace by unknown technologies.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, any government would be concerned about that.
Yeah.
Be they international or intergalactic. But the tone taken by the interrogators themselves seemed to be one of skeptics striving to debunk Gustafsson and Rydberg's undeniably disturbing testimony. Nevertheless, despite their Herculean efforts to reveal some sort of grandiose ruse, Detective Rudolph would later confess, and this is a quote from him, "Actually, we did not leave out anything without asking pertaining to their encounter, but we couldn't find anything that is considered a hoax."
Okay, so that's positive in the,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
After a battery of medical and psychiatric tests, which lasted for days, Gustafsson and Rydberg were pronounced to be physically and psychologically sound young men who had simply endured a traumatic experience of unknown origin. Despite that fact, the Swedish military publicly denounced the encounter as a hoax. How long were these poor bastards incarcerated?
Well,
it's an 11-hour interview, and then they have to have all these medical tests.
Right.
I mean, if you don't think something happened, if the government of Sweden did not believe something had legitimately happened, why would you interrogate them for so long, and why would you keep them there to test them?
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
They're being dicks about it, but I think they believe it's real.
But why is there why is there not any account of like investigating the scene, or is there?
I think there. I don't know if I included it in this because, like I say, this got whipped together at the last second, but I think there was. All right. Sven Schalin, a Swedish ufologist who conducted an interview with Gustafsson and Rydberg on January 7th, 1959, felt that the pair's testimony was authentic and even attempted to hypnotize... I'm sorry, I fucked that up completely. And even attempted to hypothesize as to the alien being's extra-gravitational capabilities. And this is what Schalin had to say. An acceptable explanation of the creature's ability to fly may be that the UFO, through a surrounding gravitational field or electrical origin, may have created swirls or similar concentrations of energy. He is pulling science straight out of an anus right there.
Well, but he's giving credence to their claim.
No, he's trying to be supportive.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have to wonder. If something doesn't have bones, possibly not muscles... They have flesh that might be super strong. Right. They feel like magnetic dough when they grab you. Otherwise, they look like fucking gelatinous messes.
I don't know nothing about no gravity or electrical energy, but the way the guy says it sounds good. But I'm not sure if there's anything really there. I gotta be honest with you.
That's a lot of empty talk.
You got gravity and you got electrical fields and maybe some things happen. I mean, I don't know, dude. Maybe that's true.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we can adjust gravity with electrical fields of electricity. I said that. To make ourselves bounce.
You understand, though. You just laid that typical line of bullshit that they did. You didn't mean it.
Well, of course I didn't.
And that's what you can say anything, and if you say it with enough confidence and condescension,
totally.
you will get a lot of people to believe it because they'll be intimidated not to.
That's called the Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yeah,
that is totally, the very definition
you totally
of
got
the
Chopra
Deepak
when that
Chopra.
happens.
Yeah.
Like, you might not believe this shit at all, but you're going to look like a damn fool if you don't assent to it at that moment.
Yeah.
So it says, through a surrounding gravitational field of electrical origin may have created swirls of similar concentrations of energy.
Yeah, that just makes sense. That's science.
I'm on board.
That's ridiculous. But I mean, we don't know how these things could have fucking moved.
It very well might be true.
I mean, it might be.
We can't say that it's false. It could be true, but
you can't
on the surface, reading that,
it sounds like a line of bullshit.
It's like something I would say.
Yeah, but he said they were dancing.
The
dance of the macabre.
Dance of the macabre.
Yeah, the dance of the macabre.
Can we all get on the same page as the macabre and stop saying the macabre? It's the macabre.
All right, so when they were doing the macabre dance...
Thank you. Be supportive of your friends. Isn't that
just say it wrong like me.
Isn't that the point of this entire thing is be supportive of your friends?
No.
Die with your friends. If you're going to die with your boots on. Pronounce macabre correctly.
Yeah.
Don't pronounce Swedish words properly.
Eagles, Dagblad.
Eagles, Dagblad. Entombed, at the gates,
Entombed,
the haunted,
Hammerfall,
Sabaton.
The secret point of this podcast is one thing. Friendship is great. That's really all it's about.
It is.
Friends talking about monsters, drinking beer, talking about monsters, staying awake way too long.
Friend
talking about monsters.
Literally getting loopier by the minute.
Swedish metal
I
bands.
had hallucinations earlier. I told my friends about it. It was fucking weird. Maybe I'll share it someday.
Your friends instructed you to go to bed.
I know.
You know what we call that in my house? We call that a GTB. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. Okay, so concentrations of energy and our ability to comprehend that aside, Robert, please continue.
Okay. I first happened upon, this is me speaking in the first person, this weird and frankly disturbing case in a tattered paperback copy of Brad Steger's 1966 book about alien encounters, Strangers from the Skies. It's a great book. I recommend it to anyone out there. If people out there want to read about weird, old-timey, awesome things like this, get Brad Steger books, get just any John Keel book. There's so many out there. I'll make a list someday and I'll show it to you. But anyway, it's phenomenal, and I really loved it. Wherein he dubbed, and this is Steger, these bizarre beings terrible flying jelly bags. From the first moment my adolescent mind devoured this harrowing tale, I became enthralled with the case. I think, in retrospect, my fascination came from a combination of the sheer randomness of the event. I mean, who among us, when answering nature's call on a desolate stretch of unlit road, does not get that thrill of fear racing up their spine, speculating about what could be lurking in the inky blackness mere feet away from the spill of the headlights? Merge this with the inhumanness of the creatures and the sheer intensity of their unprovoked attack, and you get the stuff of which nightmares are made. There have been no further reports of the jelly bags, or Domesten blobs as they are sometimes known, which has led some to speculate that the Swedish military was correct in their evaluation of the case. But when it comes to alien encounters, very often there are not multiple sightings, or perhaps more terrifyingly, there's a very real chance that the victims of these undulating entities simply never made it home to tell their tale. And that's a real possibility. These guys got away. But others might not have got away. We might be like easy pickings.
We could be.
Yeah. I mean, if they're super magnetic, doughy jelly bags that can fly, dance, grab onto you, psychically know what you're going to do, so they parry all your moves. The humans got lucky because they have the terror of the horn, apparently. But if you're not smart enough or able to hit a car horn, you're going to get sucked into that UFO. For what purpose, one can only imagine. Maybe, really, they're pillows, and their main purpose as pillow people is to be really comfortable and laid on, and then you spend the rest of your life in bliss. That's a possibility. I'd like to think that's true. Well, that's probably not the case.
No.
They're probably going to exsanguinate you and use your dick as an aphrodisiac and sell your balls on the open market.
Well, there's a nice big cut. All right.
Why does it have to be cut?
Continue.
You can't sell a dick on the open market anymore?
Sure cannot in this podcast.
Fucking, there is just no way of knowing what their intentions were with these guys. And you can't help but to assume, despite the pillow theory, that they are of nefarious intent, because you don't take people against their will. I mean, even in Misery, when she loved the writer, he still lived a miserable, broken ankle existence.
Sure, but I mean, but other things are you could say they're telepathic. There's just no.
Well, that's what the guy thought.
If you're just swinging it, it's a weird jelly thing, and it's moving and adjusting to what somebody's doing, it might seem that way.
It might seem that way.
Right.
So there's no reason. There's no reason to assume that they're really telepathic.
Yeah,
but I mean, if they are these blob-like amoeba creatures that are parrying your every move, if they were telepathic, would it be that surping?
Well, at this point,
I mean, really,
they're so fucking weird that you can't
like,
rule anything out. But this is where it gets dangerous, and this is where I think Chris is implying this. You have to be really careful not to go down the rabbit hole of, this is so weird, why don't I embrace everything?
Yeah.
Like they were getting energy
all
from
bets
the
are
pyramids,
off,
and unicorns were pointing their horns
summoning
at them to
wormholes.
And, you got to avoid that. You have to look at the evidence as it stands. And I think there's a pretty good chance that they maybe overestimated their psychic abilities.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean the fact that these things can jump around, that they are defying gravity, that they're so strong, that they don't seem to have any of the bones, muscles, or other things that would be required for motion on Earth. These are all befuddling and fascinating elements to the story.
So the army did check these guys out.
Yeah, the Swedish army put these guys through the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
Right, so there's a record of that, but there's no record of
Their girlfriend?
investigating the scene.
I assume they did. There's a lot more to this, by the way. This story goes so deep. It goes so deep into psychologists that are for them and against them and little inside wars, but it becomes like a bureaucratic nightmare. And that really goes way beyond the purview of what we're doing here. I know the government investigated this, but I also know that they were really doing their best to debunk these guys publicly for reasons I don't know.
Well, that's why I think it would have been, you'd think a report would have been like, we didn't find anything.
Right.
If that was the case, like we went there, nothing looked weird. There's nothing weird.
Right.
Nothing was disturbed.
These guys suck. Go home.
Yeah, we found nothing. Nothing
Ether
was
and
there.
burnt sausage did not smell either.
No, right. No, that beautiful combination. My
we
favorite
did not
cologne.
detect any ether.
Nor burnt sausage.
Yeah. Oh, if anyone from Brute is listening, I think you know your future.
Yeah. So let's go down our checklist here of possibilities. We're gonna take. Okay, so
this is fucked because it's two people.
But they were out partying.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I don't know. We have to obviously take the skeptical path all the time, just to be like,
well,
okay, what could
we
this
have to go down that walk.
I mean, I guess if you're really that shit-faced with your buddies, yeah. Like I've been there, being drunk with your friends and stupid shit happening.
Well, then you have to ask this. What's more important is this. There is no way, in my opinion, that either A, they hallucinated this. It's too graphic. It's got too many elements.
Yeah, no, I don't think
physical traces. There's no way that like a plastic bag blew in one of their faces, no matter how drunk they are.
No,
I'm attacked by
pretty
a thing.
detailed.
And then they
it's
saw
definitely detailed,
like a white-tailed deer, and it's like, maybe that's a UFO.
No, it's fairly detailed. The other weird kind of thing too is the whole angle with his mom and the dry cleaning.
Well, I don't
business.
blame. You know what? I don't think it's a classy move. I think care about your kid first. But to me, her exploiting things for her own benefit, that's just some shady shit.
Yeah.
That this business lady did.
I know.
It doesn't in any way diminish the authenticity of their story.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But then it's like, well, did she try to do something to?
Yeah, did she have like a buy one get one blob off or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
no. And how do you exploit that?
I know it's weird.
If this was like a great conspiracy made by his mom, and she was like, "You guys on the way home, tell a story. Here it is. Come home, act weird. We're gonna throw some fucking paprika in your eye. It'll burn. You'll have the red eye." And then we'll call the cops and the media, and you'll tell everyone that you got attacked by fucking jelly bags, and we will fucking do so much laundry.
No.
So much laundry.
No, I don't think they're in on it. I think maybe the girlfriends are.
You think it's a hoax perpetrated by other people?
Because they have to be the son and the friend have to be believable, so they wouldn't be in on it. So it would be the girlfriend.
But how could you perpetrate
this?
They
get roofied with some sort of Swedish dope.
Yeah.
That makes them
Spanish fly and Swedish
dope.
What year is this again?
58, I think.
So
somewhere around there.
Is it too early for Quaaludes?
No, it's not too early for Quaaludes.
Okay. So possible Quaaludes.
Or Swedish dope.
Let me look at. We're reaching.
We've all been shit-faced. I've never hallucinated. I've made mistakes.
No, not.
I've blacked out, and I hate that. But I have never hallucinated.
Think alcohol makes you hallucinate. We've all gotten fucked beyond belief.
Yeah, if you got the super
Is that the new Pantera greatest hits?
Fuck beyond belief.
On alcohol, I've never hallucinated.
With alcohol,
on alcohol,
no
way.
With other stuff, yes, but not alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've not, so when they say like, oh, you saw pink elephants, every story I read, especially old timey story, the cop always has to say, I smelled his breath. It didn't smell like alcohol. Must be real. Well, if you've had 3 fucking beers and you see something weird, you still saw something weird.
Right.
That's true.
If you say,
so you don't
I'm tripping my balls off, I did some meth, I'm fucking rocking and rolling, and then I saw a jellyfish eat my girlfriend. A sky jellyfish.
I did some meth, so I'm rocking and rolling. Yeah. Really?
That's what kids do when they do the meth. They
rock and roll.
I don't really think kids do the meth anymore.
I think I'm in touch with youth culture. I know.
Yeah, all the kids out there with that bathtub meth.
You'd be surprised.
So we can take all that off the table and just deal with the fact that these guys were attacked by alien jelly bags.
Or were lying. That's the other thing.
Well, they could have been lying.
If it's a flat-out hoax for whatever reason, like if they thought, I hate working with your mom, I hate this laundry.
Yeah. Escape the evil mother.
I hate clothes. Clothes are stupid.
Your mom sucks. Dry cleaning blows. I'm tired of doing this.
Everyone's got skid marks. It's fucked. Why do people shit their pants? Can't you fart responsibly?
Can't you fart responsibly? Oh, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Thank you for the pod. So, yeah.
Oh, it's just disgruntled laundry workers.
I really feel like that's possible. I mean, because the mom comes off as quite the business.
You're right.
Maybe they were just trying to get sensational to maybe get themselves, out of the laundry business, maybe. And then the mom took advantage of it. But, I mean, obviously, it is the report. The government got involved, for Christ's sake, so that it must have gotten. And it says that they were like to talk about town.
Seriously, in the 50s, people were very, very concerned, and with good reason, because the government hadn't gone full out to debunk these. Like eventually, what happened, and I'm only going to just go down this hole for a minute. The U.S. government was like, there is much more danger in widespread belief. Not just because if aliens are real, religions are going to fall apart and people are going to burn their credit cards and their bras, but because we get constant calls. Every time people see something that they just can't describe in the least, they assume the worst. Our fucking phone lines are tied up. They're wasting their time. The best thing to do is to make these people look like assholes and leave it behind.
Okay.
But before then, because during World War II, there was a lot of profound and amazing Foo Fighter sightings and UFO sightings. This really concerned people, but they couldn't do anything about it because, fucking Hitler. And he's trying to do a lot of negative shit. And if you worry about the lights in the sky, maybe the Holocaust is everywhere. Maybe Marine Land is now a goddamn execution center.
Okay.
So the point is this. They had to worry about it, but they couldn't focus. After World War II, they could focus. And they were really concerned. Are they enemies? And where are they from? And if they can outmaneuver us this incredibly, what are we going to do about it? And then all governments got concerned. When they saw the American government was concerned, because we had the top military at the time, and probably still do. They're they're concerned, we got to fucking do something about this. And they had lots of missiles falling into lakes and shit. There's a lot of background. The thing is, we always look at these individual cases and they're fascinating, but they always happen in a very broad spectrum of events and historical context that it's hard to get into and even harder to research sometimes. So the Swedish government investigating attacking jelly bags, whether it's just disgruntled, like you say, laundry workers or a real thing, makes perfect sense because they have to figure out what the fuck this is. Right. Now, of course, the policy of mocking it has gone on for so long and is so entrenched that we literally have been driven, us that investigate and talk about these things, we've been driven underground further than before. We used to be kind of mainstream. When we were kids, it was a little bit mainstream. In the 50s and 60s, before we were born, it was definitely something that you could talk about publicly. You might get a little ridicule if you're talking about little green men. So we have to work even harder because their main goal was to make it go away. We can't understand it. It doesn't seem to be threatening us. I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Right. Sure.
And it's still happening, and it's still real.
Well, yeah.
All right, so we took the angle of they could be lying. We took the angle of
dope.
The dope.
Swedish dope.
Swedish dope.
Also,
booze hallucination.
Diabetes.
Booze hallucinations.
Maybe they became friends because they both were diabetic. They could share tips about how to do insulin. They got too drunk. They didn't take their medicine. They had a mass psychotic hallucinatory breakdown symbiosis, something I just made up.
Yeah.
And someone's like, I want a jelly bean. I need a bag. There's jelly bags.
In the 50s, what type of psychedelic drugs are available in the 50s, though? I mean, that's clearly not acid, because acid hasn't even been developed yet.
Well, it had been, but it wasn't in
the
use.
50s?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. But there were certainly psychedelic mushrooms or ayahuasca and things like that. But I doubt they were going to South America dealing with a shaman, learning about their inner truths and finding their spirit.
So let's just take all that off the table and let's just deal with what... Let's just do what they dealt with.
If they're not lying.
If they're not lying,
let's
they
just put that out.
Came across some weird...
because we're still forgetting that they claim to have seen a ship.
All right.
I have nothing.
I mean, really, we have...
If it's legit.
A lot of our podcasts end with this where we're like, we've got nothing.
Well, if it's real, then it's fucking aliens.
What do we have? What do we have with this?
I guess. I
think we have a genuine extraterrestrial contact. I think we have creatures that are completely foreign to our understanding of what biology should be, which actually makes sense. We live in a world with biodiversity that's so ridiculous where you have fucking mantis shrimp and elephants and all sorts of things in between. And if that's happening on one planet, what is the fucking cosmos doing?
Of course.
It's vast. So the fact that these things are inexplicable protozoan jelly bags, at least to our perception of it, is completely feasible to me. And the fact that they can do things based on their technology developed in their own way, I don't have a beef with it. Why they would want to kidnap these dudes? Maybe they thought they were hot. Maybe they looked tasty. Maybe it was just a fuck around, a frat prank. I don't know. But it seems like these are legitimately non-human things.
Lambda, paramecium.
Yeah, exactly. The greatest frat ever.
Is Ogre going to show up and go, nerds?
Well, maybe that's how they felt. Maybe they were the jocks of their culture, and they just thought, these fucking geek-ass fuckers pissing on my place. This is my... Are we partying here? Are we macabre dancing here?
So you're saying...
Are we macabre dancing here, and it's our space, and these fuckers are pissing?
You're saying it's an alien blob hazing
I feel like it is.
ritual?
Jesus.
Right.
I feel like I'm going, you know what, I'm going with the extraterrestrial frat. Extraterrestrial frat.
Okay.
Super hazing. Don't piss on my party.
All right.
And my macabre dance party.
I'm going to take the stance of these poor two dudes just had to go to the bathroom and they just stumbled upon a craft. They happen to have these really weird, bizarre jelly bag aliens, which to the jelly bag aliens, I guess, credit, they were like, one of two things. These guys are hostile, or we need to check these guys out and see what we can figure out about these dudes. So they were trying to bring them back to the ship. Because if they were going to kill them, I feel like if they wanted to kill them, they could have killed them because they were clearly engaged in some sort of combat.
I'm not entirely sure they didn't want to kill them.
Combat,
I think they might have wanted to kill them. There's no reason to assume
they were
they
bringing
didn't.
them back to the ship.
Yeah, and sometimes the killer wants to kill you in his home. I mean, it's not like it's rare.
Know, man. I mean, it seems like if they were going to kill him, they would just kill him.
There's a lot of variables,
I don't
though.
know.
You can't say either way.
Yeah, he could have wanted to experiment, vivisection, autopsy after the kill.
So I just can imagine blobs come out with it. One blob comes out with a tray of the torture weapons. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's like, no, don't do a blob. And he's like, blah, 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 blah.
That is definitely Blob's
because that's a blob voice.
All right, what about this?
So,
what if it's a case of bone envy? They're there to get stable.
Really?
They're just fucking floppy ass bitches with a lot of magnetic dough strength, but they know what bones can do. Bones offer you strength and stability.
Okay.
They let you stand. They let you punch and grab.
Wait, so were they there for the bones, or just to eliminate them because they were pissed because they don't have bones?
I don't think it's jealousy about bones. Oh, certainly it's about jealousy and bones. It's about you have bones. I want your bones. And then there was a test subject. There was fucking Randy the Jelly Fiend, and he was like, "You're gonna put bones in me. Oh no. You're gonna put bones in me, and I'm gonna know what it's like to walk. You know what? I'm gonna hug you, Bill, because I can do it with bones.
We can do it with bones.
I can't. I'll just slop into you right now. I'm gonna give you a bony ass hug with my bone arms, my bone legs standing, and I'm gonna have a bone skull." And I'm going to look awesome.
I feel like you can still hug without bones.
I know, but that's not the point. You can't really hug firmly without bones.
Okay, so like most things we cover on this podcast, this is going to fall under the auspice of we just don't know what in the hells is going on with this thing.
That is true.
These two obviously encountered something. Whether they are to be believed or not, I suppose, is up to the listener.
Absolutely.
With government involvement and whatnot. Kind of makes you think something happened, but then you get their mother stepping in trying to boost her dry cleaner business.
All right, just because somebody wants to exploit an event does not mean that event did not happen.
This is true.
Somebody on the side trying to make a couple bucks.
It taints
it. I know.
But it shouldn't taint it. You know, the only time it should taint it is when the people themselves are like, it happened to me. Now come to Big Junior's used car lot. Sit in the Bigfoot car where the Bigfoot sat when I saw the Bigfoot.
Get your Sasquatch ATV 2 for 1.
I know, exactly.
That's some shady shit. But when your fucking mom is exploiting your, PTSD experience for her own benefit,
it's dark.
You can't hold that against the sighting.
It's dark.
Maybe though. Dark. I don't know. We grew up in the 80s, so I look at some dynasty shit. Like
seriously.
It's a whole cover.
I
grew
up
up
in the 80s too. I know how parents were.
It's the long game.
But this is the 50s. This is the
exactly.
1950s.
They were worse.
They were worse.
We don't know.
People were worse.
Are we really an expert on the fucking social strata of Sweden in the 1950s?
Yes.
I don't think any of us can claim that. All right, Chris can. But the rest of us cannot.
I have a degree in fucking late 50s.
Swedish social
family.
dynamics.
What fuckers were doing around the globe.
Nice.
It says that on my certificate.
I forgot about that. I forgot you had that. It's right on
So,
the wall. How'd I miss
fuckers were doing.
There aren't really any other... I mean, there are other alien sightings with creatures sort of like this.
Sort of.
It's the important word to remember here is sort of.
Sort of.
Completely
Yeah.
boneless,
we don't
gelatinous
want to
creatures
connect too much here.
with
but...
great strength. That's a fairly rare phenomenon.
So I guess ultimately what it comes down to is these two on the side of the road. They're trying to relieve themselves. They come across these aliens in this ship, and it just kind of turns into a melee type situation. And then the next thing you know, they've escaped. The aliens have taken off. I guess no one's better for it, really, and no one knows what's going on.
No, it's true. I mean, the moral of the story is this. When you're drunk and pissing and shouldn't be driving but are doing it anyway, and you're going home and you see something weird, fucking leave it alone.
Yeah, push harder, zip up, and get out.
Don't even bother to fucking shake it. Let some drips go down your leg because, god damn it, the best thing you can do is get the fudge out of Dodge.
Underwear soaks up
Oh, absolutely.
like a shot of
You work at a laundry. You can wash the piss out of your drawers. All I'm saying
but it's
is...
true.
All I'm saying is don't be fucking curious. Holy shit, this is what you get.
Yeah.
A terrible ordeal and lots of humiliation. Just, if you see the light go, good for you. Yeah. I'm out.
All right, so we have no idea what it is, but contact us, kryptonautpodcast.com. Let us know what you think it is. Be sure to follow us on the social medias. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. Be sure to rate and review this episode on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. We're available on Stitcher Radio. We're available on iHeartRadio. We also are on YouTube. So leave some comments on YouTube.
I know. I love talking to folks on YouTube. That's the one social media thing, well, that and Facebook, that I actually involve myself with. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you ever want to talk to me, Facebook and to a lesser degree, YouTube is the way to do it.
Okay, so Rob is available on Facebook and YouTube. Chris, you are available on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay, I am available on Twitter. I'm available on Instagram. I'm available on Facebook.
Dage is everywhere.
I run the Kryptonaut accounts. So
yes,
when you're contacting us, you're talking to me. I also have my own personal accounts. You can find those on Instagram and Twitter at Mark Stores on Twitter and at Stores on Instagram. So you can find me there.
And Mark might be able to hook me up with a little Instagram love in the not too distant future.
We're going to try to get Bob Marino on the old Instagram.
Yeah, I might have to stumble up to the old Instagram. Say shalom to my buddies.
All right, so there you have it. Super crazy interactions with blob-like aliens in Sweden. Guys, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just really be aware. Think about your curiosity and what it's going to lead to. Because if you want to know something and it ends up being something you wish you didn't know, you can't unknow it.
All right, Chris.
Pee carefully.
Pee carefully.
Pee carefully. All right, I'm going to say living leads to death, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Wow, that's grim and accurate.
Living leads to death.
Well fucking said, dude. No. It's so gosh.
It's true in all cases.
Absolutely.
We'll be talking to you soon.
See ya.